Shalom, 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 lakam, which is peace unto you all. Hayawam, tawab, la'atam, za'akyakam, yawam, man rachagadal, Charlotte, which is good day. This is your brother Yawan from the GMS camp in Charlotte. Nacham atam, kaya, hamalakwat hashamayim kwa repent ye for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Call halayim la abanaw Yahweh bahasham, Yahushua bahasham rachak wadash. Wa mashna la zakwanim na wa malakim shah rachagadal, which is all praises to our Father Yahweh, which means he exists. Bahasham, in the name Yahushua delivers, and double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. All right, so I want to go into a lesson pretty much going into, going into the law, pretty much why we don't eat the blood with, the meats that we eat, and also why we cook them fully. So this is Barium, Deuteronomy chapter 12. And we'll start at verse 15. It says, notwithstanding thou mayest kill and eat flesh in all thy gates, whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, according to the blessing of the Lord thy power, which he hath given thee. The unclean and the clean may eat thereof, as of the roebuck and as of the hart. In which when it says the unclean and the clean, is talking about those that are ceremonially clean and unclean. I got this in the NLT. It says, NLT, Deuteronomy 12 and 16, but you may butcher your animals and eat their meat in any town whenever you want. You may freely eat the animals with which the Lord your power blesses you. All of you, whether ceremonially clean or unclean, may eat that meat, just as you now eat gazelle and deer. So those that pretty much of the Israelites that was clean or unclean. It's not talking about the animal. But continuing on, verse 16, it says, only ye shall not eat the blood, it shall pour it upon the earth as water. You see, so you can't eat the blood with the specific meat that you're eating. So I got this word for blood, and it says dam. All right, I get inside the interlinear in Hebrew, and it says dam. It says blood of wine. It says as that which when shed causes death of man or an animal, by analogy to the juice of the grape, figuratively, especially in the plural. Bloodshed, drops of blood. It says bloody, blood guiltiness, blood thirsty, and the innocent blood, All right, then it says blood, then it says the blood of the grape, which is pretty much, it says slaying the guilt of slaughter. All right, so we're going to break this word down, Baharocha, through the spirit. All right, it says dam, the da, when you go into it, the da is dalath, all right, which that would be a door, and the door moves. Like if you was to open a door, it's on hinges, it swings back and forth, so it moves. And then da also is the fourth letter, Baha'alat Bayath, in the Hebrew alphabet. So the number 4 goes into blood as well. All right, and then you got the ma, which is mayam, which mayam, water, goes into water, blood, chaos, and mighty. All right. But water and blood are ascribed to this particular word, and it says moving back and forth of water or blood, which is high in water content and vibrant energy. This is the life. This is the life. This is why life is in the blood, because the blood contains life essence of a being, which that's a typo right there. But pretty much going into the life is in the blood of a animal or a person. So it says without it, in totality, one becomes silent or dead. There are also 4 main types of blood, and also 4 valves in the heart that push out blood in the body of mankind. All right, in which it says it has relation to this word right here, because dam is related to damam, because if you was to lose a significant amount of blood, one would grow silent or grow dumb, where dumb means you can't speak, and one will be destroyed. Then it says to stop, also to perish, be cut off, because if you was to lose a significant amount of blood, you pretty much will be destroyed. All right. So nevertheless, I'm going to this as well. This is the word for valve, because you got 4 valves in the heart. And it says the movable part of such device. All right, but a valve also goes into a door. It says a leaf of a folding or double door. All right, that's pretty much a valve. All right, just like right here, it says the heart's main purpose is to pump blood throughout the body, delivering oxygen and nutrients to organs and muscles while removing waste products. It says this process is made possible by the heart's location at the center of the circulatory system, a network of blood vessels that carries blood to and from all parts of the body, so that it will make sense, that if it was a significant amount of blood loss, the body will lose life. And that's pretty much, the life of a person or an animal is in the blood, and we'll get more understanding on this through the spirit to reiterate. So I'm going to get this real fast. This is Dabarium Deuteronomy chapter 12. We'll go down to verse 23, and it says, only be sure that thou eat not the blood, for the blood is the life, and thou mayest not eat the life with the flesh, because essentially, if you look at how Esau does it, a lot of times, like he damn near eat the blood in his steak, so that goes into the ways of the heathen, essentially they understand, they do things off according to the scriptures, and they have different purposes. They have some what they call like blood magic. That's like something that the heathen do. We were commanded not to do such things. I'm gonna get this real fast. This is Wayaquara, also Leviticus chapter 19. We'll give verse 26, and it says, "Ye shall not eat anything with the blood, neither shall ye use enchantment nor observe times." All right, I'm gonna get this inside the commentary. All right. Salaklaya. All right. And it says, you shall not eat anything with the blood. Eating blood was a practice in many pagan cultic ceremonies, as was divination and soothsaying. Therefore, both were directly forbidden. So a lot of that stuff had to do with left hand practices. We wasn't supposed to be delving and doing the stuff that the heathens was doing. I'm gonna get this real fast. This is Jeremiah chapter 10. We'll get verse 1, and it says, Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Yasha'Allah. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain, for one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman with the axe. All right, I'm gonna get this word for vain. And which customs, when you go into customs, chakwa, it says something prescribed, and their customs go into rituals, and it says vain, chabal, it says vanity, unsatisfactory, emptiness, pretty much going to something that's worthless, Their practices, they're worthless. The Lord said that the heathen was like unto spittle, they said that's what they do. We supposed to take hold of the law, statutes, and commandments. I'm going to get this real fast. This is Quahalat, Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13, and it says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Hey, we was made to follow the scriptures. All right, so we can't get into, or we cannot get into the stuff that the heathens get into, So I'm going to get another one. This is Wayaquara, Leviticus chapter 17, and we'll get verse 10. And it says, whatsoever, verse 10, Leviticus 17 and 10, and whatsoever man there be of the house of Yasha'Allah, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, that eateth any manner of blood, I will even set my face against that soul that eateth blood, and will cut him off from among his people. For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make the atonement for your sins, to make an atonement for your souls. For it is the blood that maketh an atonement for the soul. Therefore I said unto the children of Yasha'Allah, no soul of you shall eat blood, neither shall any stranger that sojourneth among you eat blood. And whatsoever man there be of the children of Yasha'Allah, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, which hunteth and catcheth any beast or fowl that may be eaten, he shall even pour out the blood thereof and cover it with dust. You see, because that's essentially the natural cycle and how the Lord created things, I'm gonna get this real fast. This is Quahalat, Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 20, and it says, all go into one place, and all are of the dust, and all turn to dust again. I'm gonna get this real fast. This is Quahalat, Ecclesiastes chapter 12, we'll get verse 7, and it says, then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto the Most High who gave it. You see, so what these heathen do is they take, like if you take the Hebrew characters, for example, they take what was created for righteousness on the left hand side, and they'll take that, and they'll try to pretty much throw off things, They try to use it for left hand purposes. All right, but this is back to Leviticus chapter 17 and verse 12, I believe. And it says, verse 14, it says, "For it is the life of all flesh, the blood of it is for the life thereof. Therefore I said unto the children of Yasha'Allah, ye shall eat the blood, ye shall eat the blood of no manner of flesh, for the life of all flesh is the blood thereof. Whosoever eateth it shall be cut off." All right, and it says, "And every soul that eateth that which died of itself, or that which was torn with beasts, whether it be one of your own country or a stranger, he shall both wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening." And it says, "Then shall he be clean." So doing that, eating something that was torn. You got a lot of heathen that do that as well. Esau, he'd take up like say like a deer. It'd be like mangled from a car accident. He'd take that and eat it. Verse 16. "But if he wash them not, nor bathe his flesh, then he shall bear his iniquity." Get this in the NLT. It says, "But if they do not wash their clothes and bathe themselves, they will be punished for their sin." So I'm actually going to the commentary on this. All right, this is Leviticus chapter 17 and verse 10 in the commentary, and it says, B, it says, "Who eats any blood?" It says, "Since ancient times, people might eat or drink blood either as food or as a ritual or a spiritual practice. Often the idea that one who consumed the blood received the life strength of the being that supplied the blood. The Most High strongly commanded that this should not be done in Yasha'Allah, that he would set his face against the person who eats blood. Thus, as a matter of practice, all animals that were butchered in Israel were drained of the blood as much as possible. Not all nations did this. It appears from history that those nations who lived most on it blood were very fierce, savage, and barbarous, such as the Scythians, the Tartars, Arabs of the desert, and the Scandinavians, and so forth, some of whom drank the blood of their enemies, making cups of their skulls." It says the prohibition against eating the blood became an important aspect of kosher food, which that word kosher will be kashar, which means suitable, or something that you can actually eat. But it says for food to be kosher, the animal's carotid artery was cut. The animal had to bleed for a designated amount of time, and pretty much until all the blood came out of the animal. It's a lot. It says, "For the life of the flesh is in the blood. The Most High agreed that there was a spiritual significance in the blood of an animal or a person. The difference was that among pagans, they said the life is in the blood. I must eat it or drink it. And take the life for myself." You see, because a lot of those pagan and heathenistic customs, they actually take that, like when you go into the Ada, CH, pretty much going into, what the all stuff that Esau does, pretty much they'll use it for their own purposes to get different types of energy and stuff like that. But according to the scriptures, that would be off, So it says the godly Israelite, it says, which says lowercase g, "The life of the flesh is in the blood, and it therefore belongs to the Most High, not to me." All right, because that belongs to the Lord. It says this emphasizes a powerful idea: life belongs to the Most High. The Most High set his face against the person who takes authority over life for themselves. Life depends on blood, is preserved by blood, and nourished by blood. When enough blood leaves a body, life leaves a body. So it says, because the life of a creature is in the blood makes atonement for one's life. One life is sacrificed for another. The shedding of the substitutionary blood on the altar makes atonement, since the blood of the innocent victim was given for the life of the one who has sinned. All right, in which that was a way, which we will see in the ancient world, and then like the Old Testament, you see. But we understand that the law was a schoolmaster, and when you go into the word schoolmaster, which we'll get, Lord's will, but it's like a guide, for the way that we will walk, But it says the idea of the life being in the blood is directed to sacrifice. Most of the occurrences of the word blood in the Old Testament indicate a death by violence. The focal point of the mention of blood was not of blood flowing through the veins, but rather on blood shed, which indicated that the life has ended. And it says, I have given to you upon the altar to make atonement for your souls. Additionally, blood was the means by which atonement was made. Therefore, to eat blood was to profane it, to make it a common thing. You see, so it was pretty much consecrated. And when you make something common, you pretty much saying it's unholy, you know. So it says, respecting the blood of animals hunted and caught. It says, whatsoever man of the house of Yasha'Allah or the strangers who dwell among you. Once more, this command was for those who lived in ancient Israel, under the unique kingdom where the Most High was recognized as king, and his word was the law of the land. And that's how it should be. And it says, he shall pour out its blood, and cover it with dust. If an animal was caught and killed in a hunt and could not be properly bled as a regular butchering, then the blood was to be poured out on the ground and covered with dust. Who hunts and catches? Let's skip down. It says, it is easy to think that allowing the blood to drip on the ground and to cover it with dirt was to disrespect the blood of that animal, to profane it. When we think like that, we made the same mistake as Uzzah made in 2 Samuel 6:6. And it says, and when they came to Nahshan's threshing floor, Uzzah put forth his hand to the ark of the Most High and took hold of it, for the oxen shook it. I had to read back on that, but just wanted to read it real fast because it was right there. But it says, Uzzah thought that somehow the ground was more profane than his own touch. It says, instead, pouring out the blood on the ground in this manner honored the blood of the animal. The blood was buried and could not be defiled. It says, the life had thus returned to the ground from which it had come, and the hunters and others who chanced to be in the vicinity were protected from the possibility of communicable disease or infection. You see, so the laws, you know, they're set the specific way that they're set for a specific purpose. You know, so covering up the blood that was shed from the animal, that essentially goes back to Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, and also the 12th chapter. You know, because that's the cycle of things. You know, creation or men and animals was made from the ground. You know, so pretty much the blood is the life of that specific creature, so it returns back to the dust. You know, it says disrespect for the blood of the animals should make us consider how we regard the blood of Yahweh Shah. It says if under the old covenant the blood of the animals was to be respected, what of the precious blood of Yahweh Shah, which makes a new covenant? You see, so I also want to touch on that as well. All right, Salat. So I'm gonna read this. Salat. I'm gonna get Hebrews Ibaryah chapter 10 and verse 29. And it says, of how much sorer punishment suppose ye shall he be of how much sorer punishment suppose ye shall he be thought worthy, who hath trodden under foot the Son of the Most High, and hath counted the blood of the covenant wherewith he was sanctified an unholy thing, and hath done despite unto the Spirit of grace. Get this in the NLT. And it says, just think of how much worse the punishment will be for those who have trampled on the Son of the Most High and treated the blood of the covenant which made us holy as if it were common and unholy. You see, because going back to while things with blood had to be treated in a specific type of manner, it had to be treated in a specific type of manner because, again, the law was a schoolmaster. I'm going to get that real fast and come back to this. This is Galatians chapter 3 and verse 24. It says, wherefore the law was our schoolmaster to bring us unto Hamashiach, that we might be justified by faith. You see, because believing by faith on Yahweh Shah Hamashiach, which represents the express representation of the word, you know, by believing on him, we're going to have those good works, you see. But what will make us righteous will be believing on him, you see. But it says, but after the faith has come, we are no longer under a schoolmaster, you see. So after we are allotted the opportunity to believe, ultimately we aren't held under the same standard of the law. So I'm gonna get this real fast. Schoolmaster. It says a tutor, a guardian, a guide of boys. So pretty much it was a guide. The law was a guide, you see. So because the scriptures say the Lord speaks in similitudes. I'm going to get that, Lord's will, and we'll go back to that. Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 29. It says, among the Greeks and the Romans, the name was applied to trustworthy slaves who charged with a duty of supervising the life and morals of boys belonging to the better class. You see, so the elect is amongst the better class. So it says the boys were not allowed so much as to step out of the house without them before arriving at the age of manhood. You see. So that's essentially what the law did. It was a guide. So I'm gonna get this real fast. This is Hawashah, Hosea chapter 12 and verse 10, and it says, I have also spoken about the prophets, and I have multiplied visions and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets. You see, so that's a similitude. It's a resemblance, because when we go into this word for similitude, it's gonna say it says Salak. It says dama, all right, and it says to resemble, to like, to compare. You see, so the law, essentially, it was a guide, it was a similitude, all right, because it's essentially that's essentially the place of Yahweh Shai, because he will represent, that true sacrificial lamb, So I'm gonna get this real fast. Go back to Ibaria, Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 29. And it says, of how much sorer punishment, suppose, yea, shall he be thought worthy, who hath trodden under foot the Son of the Most High, who hath counted the blood of the covenant wherewith he was sanctified an unholy thing, and hath done despite unto the Spirit of grace. All right, NLT, and it says, just think of how much worse the punishment will be for those who trample on the Son of the Most High, and have treated the blood of the covenant which made us holy as if it were common and unholy, and insulted and disdained the Holy Spirit, who brings the Most High mercy to us. You see, so in the law, the blood was treated in a specific fashion. It had to be treated in a holy fashion. It had to be treated in a set apart fashion. It couldn't be treated as common. It couldn't be treated unholy like how the heathen did. So because that essentially, again, was a guide to show us how we would treat the blood of Yahweh Shai, because those that treat the blood of Yahweh Shai with disdain or as if it was unholy, they're going to be dealt with, So I'm going to get this real fast. This is Ibaria, Hebrews chapter 9 and verse 22. And it says, in almost all things by law, almost all things are by the law purged with blood, and without shedding of blood is no remission. You see, so NLT, it says, in fact, according to the law of Mashah, nearly everything was purified with blood, for without the shedding of blood, there is no forgiveness. You see, so something has to take place for transgressions. You see, so essentially, in the Old Testament, those animals, they was used as sacrifices. You see, but that was only a schoolmaster to show us whose blood would truly be used for those sins, which the elect are going to misuse the blood of Yahweh Shah. They're not going to treat it with disdain and treat it as if it's a common thing. That's not a light thing, So nevertheless, I'm gonna get I believe that was it. Let me get this real fast. This is Yashaya, Isaiah chapter 53. And I'll get verse 3. It says, he is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And we hid it as it were our faces from him. He was despised and we esteemed him not. Surely he hath borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. Yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of the Most High, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities, and the chastisement of our peace was upon him. And with his stripes we are healed. You see, so he died for the nation of Yasha'Allah. First and foremost, the elect on this side, 2/3 they get their rest in the kingdom. You see, but like when we cook, when we if we was to go out and hunt an animal, it's a specific kind of way you got to do it, because if it was done in a heathenistic way, you know, that's essentially saying that the blood isn't it shouldn't be handled in a holy way. You see, because if that was that's the schoolmaster to point to Yahweh Shai, you know, so it would make sense that we have to treat that the blood in a specific type of fashion, you know, according to the law, you know. So that's why we essentially we can't we're not supposed to eat the blood with the flesh, you know, or some of the reasons why we're not supposed to eat the blood with the flesh. But Adawan Tazaza Banaya Apollos, where there was a beautiful edification through the spirit. Wa Adawan Tazah Atam Yashi Awam Tawab. A Lord's will, you all have a good day. Wa Shalom Lakam, which is peace unto you all. Shalom.